So historically speaking, it's been said that men cheat more than women. Now, why do we tend to want to give women a pass for all the things that they do, behind closed doors or whatever? Like, as being guys, we've been in some of these relationships with these women. They had a man, but we were the man on the side, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So we know for a fact that women cheat. But my question today is, who cheats more? Is it men? Is it women? Who cheats better? That's even a better question. Who cheats better? Is it men or is it women? You know what I'm saying? Eddie Murphy said years ago that when a woman cheats, a woman is going to go on vacation. She going to meet a guy, Dexter St. Jock, walking on the beach with his joint hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Singing smooth reggae tunes and you know what I'm saying? Guys, we cheat with somebody at work. You know what I mean? We cheat with somebody that we met in the grocery store. You know what I mean? Not we, meaning me, because I don't cheat, man. But I have been cheated on. I want to tell you this story or whatever, and I want to know, you know what I'm saying? Like have you ever been cheated on? Who do you think is better at it? You know what I'm saying? So let me preface this to say this. I was in a relationship before, and my ex-wife would not stop cheating. You know what I'm saying? And because I was the man of God that I was trying to be, and my whole thing used to be, what would Jesus do? How many times did God forgive me? That's how many times I'm supposed to forgive my ex for cheating on me, right? At least that's what I thought. Now, the problem with that is she would not stop cheating. You know what I'm saying? So the first time she cheated that I knew, I moved out of New York, I moved to Georgia or whatever. We had to leave some stuff behind because it was kind of expensive to move everything all at once. Not to mention I had to leave my dog back because my dog was an aggressive bred dog. I had a red-nosed pit bull, and moving into these new areas, a lot of times they don't want aggressive bred dogs on the premises because it's a liability, right? So I understood that. So what happened was there was this guy that I kind of started to get cool with right before leaving New York. I asked him, would he mind just coming by and feeding the dog, until I figured out my next move with him. Just come by the house, you know what I'm saying? Pour some dog food in there, make sure you got fresh water. You ain't got to take him out. You ain't got to take him for a walk. It's not going to be that long. I also had furniture and stuff like that in the house. So I knew for a fact that I still had to go back up there and move some more stuff down south, right? But it was just all about timing. You moving the kids, you trying to get set up in one area to even have a place to move this stuff. I asked him to look out for her, look out for my ex when she went back up to New York to go, pack up more stuff or whatever, make sure, my electronics and everything, check on the dog, finish up some stuff that she had to finish up. One day she calls me and I just felt it in my spirit. Like I actually felt it in my spirit long before that I remember running into him one time in the lobby of the building, and he was on the phone with somebody. So I remember going upstairs. Was like, "Yo, I just had a revelation, like a vision. Like, dude was on the phone with you." You know what I'm saying? So we kind of laughed it off or whatever, and we left it alone. Like, nah, I don't even know him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was her argument. And I was like, yeah, that was just weird. So I moved on from it. Fast forwarding, I'm in Atlanta. And she had to go back up to New York. She winds up going back up to New York. I think it was her aunt's birthday or something like that. And next thing I know, I get a call on the day that she's supposed to come back, telling me, actually, she calls me crying, just bawling her eyes out, telling me, yo, I messed up. So I was like, I already knew in my heart, man, that feeling that you get when you get that bad news and your heart sinks. I already knew what it was. I was like, yo, what happened? You cheated? She was like, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. So now I'm crying. I'm like, who equals me? You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I'm doing, who equals the effort that I'm putting into this relationship? You know what I'm saying? That's misconception number one. Like nobody can do it like you. Before it comes out, I say a couple of names or whatever, and she's like, nah. So then when I said this last person's name, she just started crying even more and apologizing and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I already knew it. I felt it in my spirit. I was like, yo, just come home. She was like, I can't get out the airport. I don't know what she said. Something like she lost a ticket, or they wouldn't let her get on the flight, or whatever it was. And she just wants to come home, and she told God that if he worked it out for her to get home, she would never do this again, and we could start rebuilding. Pride is the first thing that kicked in for me, which we all know pride is a sin, right? Pride kicked in like, yo, let me get her back home. You know what I'm saying? Let me reestablish my relationship. I'm not letting her go. I'm not losing her, to this cheeseburger face nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to do that, man. I know how I am. I know what we can be. I know what this everything in this house can be. We got this new move. You know what I'm saying? We got everything that we working out right now. So it's no need for me to wave the white flag and surrender to Cheeseburger Man over here, right? So why do I call him Cheeseburger Man? Dude was shorter than me, you know what I'm saying? He was chubby, and he had cheeseburger face. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, all right, yo, it's a lot about me. Why would somebody trade me for that? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she liked cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, I realized that all of that was my pride, right? So fast forward, and she got home. We went through just being hurt and arguing and just like, where did I go wrong? And then we started with the blame, because then I became the blame because there was things that he was doing that I wasn't doing. And I'm like, yo, I'm in here in this life paying bills and moving and starting businesses like that for you and starting businesses for me. Like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, how do you compare? Not to mention, you were number one in my house, but this dude had somebody pregnant on the side. He was married. And then now he got you. So you went from being number one to somebody's number three. That was another slap in the face and a reality check for myself, right? So I'm looking at it like, how do I fix this? You know what I'm saying? So it brought me back to, how many times has God forgiven me? Okay, fine. So I forgave. But of course you forgive, but you don't forget. And I don't know if that's really forgiveness, if you can really forgive without saying that, it's almost like this never happened until the next time it happens. It's hard to forget when it repeats itself and then certain actions look exactly the same as they did when this was going on. So what do I mean by that? It's okay to go have girls' night out, but then when you have what's considered double dates, you know what I'm saying? You could never miss a day of school. Not even for us to have a night or a romantic night or go out to go on a quick date or something like that. Mind you, I'm holding down everything in the house so this person can go to school, right? Now we're in a house. I done started up a business for her, you know what I'm saying? I done, paid for all the furniture, all the equipment, the advertising, everything that she needed, you know what I'm saying, for her to have this dream business that she wanted while I was working my business. I was making real good money, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to do that. I feel like two business owners in the family is much better than one. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, she was also in school because she wanted to get her degree. She would be the first person in her family to get her degree. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to support that. I'm going to hold the house down. I'm going to hold the kids down. You go ahead, do what you got to do. I'm going to be that husband. I don't have to punch a clock. I'm not on a 9-to-5 job or anything like that or whatever. So I can hold down the house while you go to school 2 or 3 days out the week. Matter of fact, you don't even have a car or drive because we coming from New York, you don't even need a license. So when we got down to Georgia, it was like, okay, well, you know what? I got you. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Even though we got cars in the driveway, I'm going to drive you to school. I'm going to pick you up. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to worry about that right now. I know by the time you get out, it's going to be dark outside. You got to come back down that dark road or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm your man, right? I had another dream. It was a Friday into a Saturday morning. I had a dream that she was cheating with somebody that looked like he was one of the Jackson 5 or something. I don't know. I guess because he had this weird kind of shag afro, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Jermaine Jackson or whatever. He was just slimmer. And then he had a big mustache. You know what I'm saying? Like the Richard Pryor mustache, right? So I'm like, I remember waking up and I was like, yo, you know what? I just had a dream that you was cheating with some old Jackson 5 looking ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, nah, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that, whatever. It's probably, residuals, coming from the past or whatever, right? So I thought. Her phone rings one day when she's in the shower. So I looked at it. Now I'm thinking that it's somebody about a book because it says something about classmate, schoolmate, something like that or whatever, or counselor. So I'm like, let me get this call because if she has to call them back, they might not answer the phone. So it might be important. So I answered the phone. And when the person spoke, he's kind of hesitated to actually speak. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of shocked him when I answered the phone. So he asked for her by last name. So I'm like, okay, it sound professional or whatever. I said, she in the shower right now, whatever. I let her know that you called, and you know what I'm saying? So I went in there and I let her know, yo, so-and-so called or whatever, right? So this kind of activity started increasing. She started getting calls more and more from this person. She would never want to miss a day of school. I'm dropping her off at school and not realizing that he's picking her up and they going other places. They going on dates. I'm dropping her at school and he's picking her up, bringing her back to his house while his wife is out of town. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when I find out about all of this, I ask her and I'm like, yo, like, are you messing with dude? You know what I'm saying? Because so of course the whole big argument came out that I'm insecure. I don't trust her. I need to let the past go and all of these kind of tactics that she was using against me. And I'm just like, I don't know, like it just something don't feel right or whatever. Like, why can you never miss a day of school? Like, you're paying them. I could understand if your work was struggling. I didn't even tell y'all that I did some of her homework. You know what I'm saying? She would come in and be so exhausted sometime where I'm like, yo, you know what? I'll work on this tomorrow, after I'm done with my stuff that I gotta do. And you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was that kind of dude. All the while, she's meeting up, she's going to his house, she's going on dates, they sneaking around. He's dropping her back off at the house or whatever because she's telling me she don't know what time she gonna get in. She was going to school at night, so it kind of made sense. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like, nah, man, this looked like some familiar behavior, right? So long story short, it came out again. She was actually cheating. When it came out, it was the way that it came out that was so devastating for me. She told me that she was going to one of her homegirls' houses to have a girls' night out, right? She took a whole bunch of clothes. That was red flag number one. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you putting on one thing and then you going over there to change your clothes? Number two, I actually pulled up because I was like, yo, I'm not feeling it. I said, I want to see that she's in the house. I want to holler at her for a minute. She's not that far away or whatever. I don't want to look crazy. I don't want to look like a stalker, but I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be hurt again. You know what I'm saying? In real talk. So I pull up over there at the house. I'm knocking on the door. Nobody's coming to the door. You hear people fumbling around. How did I know it was the house? I knew it was the house because my car was parked in the front. You know what I'm saying? This is fast forwarding. I had done taught her how to drive and got her a license or whatever. So now I done expanded her territory by a lot, right? So she's over there at homegirl's house or whatever. I hear people, how you can hear people walking around and checking, and you hear the blinds moving in the window and stuff like that, and they peeking out the window. Nobody is coming to the door. I'm like, all right, I'm getting kind of nice on this Google thing. Let me Google dude's name. Let me Google his address, you know what I'm saying, to see if maybe he's related to the homegirl. I Googled his address, come to find out, he lived like a mile and a half away from where homegirl lived. Now, a mile and a half is not that big, not that far, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm driving up and down the street trying to see, maybe if, I see a pickup trucks, trying to see if I see that address. For whatever reason, God did not allow me to see the number that I was looking for on that road. Right? When she finally came home a day later, you know what I mean? I pretty much told her, I was like, yo, I know you wasn't where you said you were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of feeling the waters. I was like, I know you wasn't where you said you were supposed to be. I know you was somewhere over there on that road over there. And, just kind of feeling her out to see. So, of course, she goes the hell off. You know what I'm saying? She started messing with him because they were planning on being together and she was going to leave me but he got a wife. And I'm like, yo, but where did y'all used to meet? Yo, they used to meet at school. When I dropped her off, like I said, he picked her up. They would go back to the house or whatever they would do, they do. She was like, yo, what she liked about him is that he used to eat the box, you know what I'm saying? And he did it way more than I did. And I'm like, I'm trying to get her to understand, like, yo, how you expect me to eat the box that somebody else is eating off of? You know what I'm saying? I don't eat from people. You know what I mean? So that's not something that you're going to be able to enjoy from me because of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're doing with your body, but I'm not going to put that in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where obviously we stopped getting physical for a while. All right. So I found out about that one, right? We went to counseling. Everybody pretty much, all the counselors for whatever reason try to blame me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you the man. You supposed to be the Jesus in your house. You supposed to forgive your church. How many times? 70 times 70, right? So here I am. I'm like, nah, but y'all ain't saying nothing about her going to the club. Y'all ain't saying nothing about her, out here cheating. Everything that I'm saying that she's not supposed to be doing as a wife, she's doing it. Y'all are not telling her nothing, right? So, boom. We fast forward 2 years later, I'm still there. Now at this point, I'm counting the years. I'm like, yo, my son is 9 right now. I got about 7, 8 more years. I can actually leave the house or whatever because he'll be going off to college. So it's not like I'm leaving my daughters and my son, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna stick around for the kids, right? Let's fast forward. There's one day we getting ready. Again, it's on a Saturday morning. Her phone vibrates. I see, it's just laying up there on the ironing board. I look at it, it's an S. So I'm like, S. It's a New York number with an S. Yo, this is the same initial from homeboy from before. You know what I'm saying? When we first moved down here. So I asked her about it. This time I'm not letting years go by. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, yo, you still talking to him? She was like, well, she never really stopped talking to him because that was her friend. And I'm like, yo, you fucked your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not okay. You know what I mean? That's not your friend, let alone this is somebody that's willing, that knows about me, that's willing to put your household and your family in jeopardy for his own selfish needs right along with you. I blame him and I blame you. Right? So, all right, I'm going to change my number. I'm going to block him. I'm going to this, I'm going to that. I'm like, yo, let me talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that never happened. They never wanted me to talk. Anytime I call him, his phone would go straight to voicemail. You know what I'm saying? I even had some cousins in New York that wanted to pull up on his job at the bowling alley, you know what I'm saying, to go see about him. And I was like, nah, don't even, you know what I mean? Don't even do him dirty like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see how this plays out, because one thing you never want to do is you never want to fight a dude over a female that chose him. You know what I'm saying? They chose each other and both of them knew about me. So she's just as accountable as he is, because here I am doing and building a life, and here you are over here making, carnal plans, so to speak, right? So one day we in there, fast forward, and we about to get intimate. The phone vibrates on the nightstand right behind us. So I'm like, yo, what did that say? I look at the phone, that shit said, I love you, good night. Yo, my heart hit the floor, man. It wasn't no more doubt. It wasn't no more nothing to question. It was nothing else to talk about. Yo, I picked up the phone. She had went downstairs to go lock the door. I picked up the phone and I looked at it. Yo, she came in the room butt ass naked and ran back out the room, ran outside in the parking lot. When I asked her, I was like, yo, what's this? I showed her the phone. I'm like, yo, what's this? She took off running. I guess she thought that I was going, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But at that moment, I knew that she would, number one, she would never stop cheating. Number two, she would never see any value in me. You know what I'm saying? And number three, she didn't respect me at all. So I knew that it was time to let this relationship go. I had to sacrifice something that I didn't want to sacrifice, and that was me being in the same household with my kids. One day, my oldest son and daughter came in the room, and because at this point, she wasn't even living in the house no more after this. She was staying with her mother. She was staying with one of her homegirls. Shit, she could have been staying with dude for all I do. You know what I'm saying? My oldest son and daughter came in the room, and they was like, Daddy, we know you depressed. You don't have to stay with her because of us. Yo, they came in my room on a Tuesday night and said that. Wednesday morning, I went and filed that paperwork. It was time for me to get up, get out of there, and do better. You know what I'm saying? I was tired of being played. I was tired of being lied to. And then not for nothing, you got too many STDs and things that's going on around, you know what I'm saying? People that are just out there doing whatever with whoever, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been one that, I would consider myself a late bloomer because that was something that I was always scared of, getting somebody pregnant and an STD that you got to live with in the entirety of your life. You know what I mean? So I filed them papers. Finally, I got my divorce or whatever. I was able to move on. And it sucked for a while because, I had to visit my kids. I had to show up to games and be sitting over there. And now they got to come sit with me and choose between me and their mother because I never wanted that to happen. But it was my new reality. You know what I mean? I was living closer to work because I got rid of my business. Once I knew I was about to file these papers, I knew I was not giving her any kind of alimony, any kind of anything, because she told me that she had a vision of being a housewife of Atlanta and being able to sit home and collect and travel and have fun while living off of the money that I built in my business. You know what I'm saying? She has since done let go of her business or whatever, I guess because it was, it was too much juggling all these relationships and then try to, work a business and be a boss at that, right? Guys, have y'all ever been cheated on? Women, have y'all ever cheated on your husband? Have y'all ever cheated on a man and realized that, this was actually a good man? Have you ever been cheated on and you looked at that other person like, how did you choose? What was your decision-making process? How was that person equal to me? Along with all my effort, along with all my time, along with all my sacrifice, whatever it is that I put into making this relationship great again, what was it that you looked at this fling and said, I'm willing to throw everything out the window? And for the first dude, he was actually the first and the third dude. You know what I'm saying? The second dude was in school. He had to leave well enough alone because all his information was in the school. So if I really wanted to find him, which I didn't, I'm not out here trying to beat up no guys where my significant other is going to him. You know what I mean? They didn't come to my house. It'd be different. But have you ever looked at a situation and just felt like, why me? You know what I mean? A situation like why me? Like I've done everything that I could do, and why me? Who cheats more? Is it men or is it women? Leave a comment down below, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I want y'all to share this video because I'm interested in what the rest of y'all look like in this classroom. What is life like for y'all in this classroom? Have you ever been in a situation of something so crazy? Have you ever forgiven so many times only for that person to come back and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and just letting you down and breaking your trust, and you keep looking to God to the point where you got to take your eyes off for a minute? You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all. Till next time.